Hi guys, I wanted to give you a rundown of Ben Miller's job. It's a small job, but I had given him a price and he didn't want to spend the money, but I was still hoping to get a day's worth of work out of him. So we originally it was like 1,700 and change, and he only wanted to spend 1,400. So I brought it down to 1,400. And I think it can be done. It's not that we're going to make a ton of money on it, but it's a day's worth of work. So um, the work is taking place on the other side of his back fence. So we're going to be dealing with this woods line back here and a couple of other things. So um, I wanted to just quickly walk you through it so it doesn't become a losing project. I think it can easily be done within the $1,400. One of the things is right now we're looking to the right of his yard, outside of his fence, to the right of his woods line, and the neighbor, the house is to the side of his, and I'll show you on an overhead. Let me see if I can get that here. So the area that we're actually going to be dealing with is in here. This is Ben Miller's house right here. So we're going to be dealing in here. Right now we're looking at this area um, right in here. And these people have this garden right here. And there's a tree overhanging it. So you'll see that when I go back to these pictures. Um, Here's their little garden. This tree. So this is like a two-pronged tree. We're going to have to use a pole saw, not an electric pole saw, but just a manual pole saw with an extending arm. They're pretty cheap if we don't have one. I'm sure we have one laying around somewhere. I'm sure Erling can point you in the right direction. But basically, it's just a kind of an angled saw blade on top of a pole, and you just reach up and cut these limbs. So you're going to need a chainsaw also for this. But you can't drop these big limbs on the garden, so you're sort of going to have to take the pole saw and make a cut here, and make a cut here, and make a cut back here, and here, and here, and just work your way back to where you're not over the garden any longer. And then we'll take this entire limb down with the chainsaw. Let me change views here so you can see what I'm talking about. This is the bottom of that tree, and this is that limb going out. So this limb goes all the way out and hangs over. I just want to cut this limb off here and haul all this away so it's not hanging over her garden. This other limb here is going to stay. This cluster of tree trunks and trees is going to stay. We are going to try to clean up all the sticks and branches around this tree, but not everything under this tree is sticks and branches. There's a couple fallen trees that have come from the distance that are like laying up against us. We're not going to do that. Anything we do on the ground here will just be carried away by hand. No cutting up to do that. So that's sort of part of the job. It's to the right of his property and back a little bit. And the bulk of the work is going to be behind his fence. In essence, the job is cleaning up all scrub brush back here. Any tree seedlings, I'd say anything less than 1-inch caliber, just cut it down to the ground and haul it out of there. Um, there is a stand of bamboo that grows on this hill. Essentially, we're going from the bottom up to the bamboo. It's not that far. It's like 12 feet. It's not as much as it seems. But basically, and this is where we can get into trouble of overdoing it. I think this happened at the Lopez job because the crew was only supposed to cut small trees and scrub bushes and things like that, but they took everything down. We're not taking everything down. All these trees are staying. Most of what's here is staying. It's weeds, small bushes, what we call scrub brush, all these little seedlings that are growing up, anything you can just easily cut and haul out of there. I would take a backpack blower and blow the leaves out of there. There's some things that the guys, when they dug these trenches back here, they threw the sod over the fence. And he doesn't like that. It should have been hauled away. So I would take a rake and spread it out, maybe carry some of it out if it's excessive. Like I said, anything less than 1 inch in caliber, easily you can cut down with loppers, cut it down at ground level and haul it out of there. Anything bigger, just clean up around it. So I hope I'm being clear here. It's basically 3 guys for a day. It's 24 hours in the job plus some travel time. There's no reason this should extend beyond. This cannot extend beyond that. So the work has to be managed to where after an 8-hour day, they got to be packing up and leaving, and it's got to look presentable. So take it for what it's worth. It can be done as long as we stay within those parameters. I want to show you one other thing on this aerial view. So once again, this is the house. This is the area back here where the fence is that we're going to be working on. What I'd like you to try to do, and I've already spoken to the customer about this, and this will need to be coordinated with him. This is the area. Either you're walking the brush out this way from behind the fence, or you're working in this area. It's a lot to go down to the street here and put stuff in the truck. And this will be this is going to be a lot of loads of debris, whether in tarps or hand carrying logs. What I'd like you to do is coordinate with Ben. He said he would talk to this resident, his neighbor, and get permission for us to back our truck up their driveway as far as we can. And then we just need to haul the stuff to our truck right here. It's much closer. So coordinate that with him. He said he would do it. He said she would be agreeable because he's doing her a favor and getting rid of limbs growing over her garden. So let's get all that worked out. And let's get the job done and get done within the hours. I'm sure you guys can handle it. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.